I know I'm punching above my weight with Linda, but the important thing is she doesn't know it. Heck, she doesn't even realize that piece of crap necklace I gave her came out of a gumball machine. I know I'm punching above my weight with Linda, but the important thing is she doesn't know it. Heck, she doesn't even realize that piece of crap necklace I gave her came out of a gumball machine.
And timeline explained in detail, plus how to kill a Deadite. Depending on the movies you watched as an impressionable child, you either know Sam Raimi for the Tobey Maguire starring Spider-Man trilogy, or the supernatural horror comedy, The Evil Dead trilogy. The 1981 classic Evil Dead was the first movie Sam Raimi directed that he was credited for. It was a dream come true for him. And he even dropped out of college to shoot the film. He was not even 20 when he collected the funds for his Evil Dead movie and started shooting. Evil Dead introduced to us the entities that came out of the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, or the Book of the Dead, after reading the book out loud. These entities, who once ruled the world, can possess the living and the dead. They impart supernatural strength to those they possess and can live even if the host is decapitated. But the real legend that the franchise has bestowed upon us is the one and only Bruce Campbell. It's near impossible to forget his acting in the first two parts of the Evil Dead trilogy. The movie embraced its comedic elements, and Bruce went all out with his expressions. It's his facial acting that accentuates the movie to a whole new level and keeps people hooked. And the special effects, man, it was cheap, but it was phenomenal in the way it was used. In this video, we'll talk about the fictional creatures of the movies, the Deadites, who are they, where they come from, and, most importantly, how to kill them. We'll also talk about all Evil Dead movies and the TV series. And what's one coherent lore. Hello there, everybody. Before we get into our list, we have a very small request. It's a lot to us. Ready? Let's begin. This is going to be a big video, so make sure that you have some snacks and something to drink.
I will rip your soul out, Daddy. I'll rip your soul out! Fuck!
Who are the Deadites? Deadites are the spirit of the undead. These spirits once had free reign on Earth before the human race. Afterward, they were banished from this reality and trapped in a mirror dimension. They were created by a demon called the Kandarian. They feast on human souls so they can live again. The exciting thing is, their human host does not even need to be alive to be possessed by a Deadite. It will take over the body, give the person supernatural strength to kill another human, so their soul can be possessed by another Deadite. It's like a plague that keeps on spreading. Since they are trapped in another dimension, they can't enter the reality of humans, but there is a tool that can open the gate for them. The tool is a book that goes by different names. Necronomicon Ex Mortis, the Book of the Dead, and Naturon Demento. This book has been the source of all problems in the Evil Dead universe. This book, allegedly made with human skin and written with human blood, controls the Deadites. It is present in the reality of humans. Ash, played by Bruce Campbell, finds the book and a tape recorder next to it. The Deadites come to life when Ash plays the tape. Of course, the recording is not whole because Mr. Noby, who read it, died soon after reading the passages that released the Deadites from their binds. And since no one in the cabin can read the Sumerian ways on how they can be stopped. That's what Ash and his friends try to figure out in The Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. It becomes a bloody massacre in the cabin, but we all know our dear friend emerges with a badass chainsaw for his hand. How can the Deadites be killed? The most common method of killing a Deadite is by dismemberment. These are supernatural entities that do not have a shape or form. Their shape is the host they infect. Once that happens, the only way to stop a Deadite is by cutting off the host arms, legs, and the head so they can no longer move. After Linda, Ash's girlfriend, is possessed by a Deadite, Ash kills her by decapitating her with a shovel. Afterward, he does make an attempt to escape the cabin once and for all. But his plan soon fails when he is chased back to the cabin by the Kandarian demon. There, his girlfriend's head comes alive and bites his hand. The headless body of Linda also attacks him, and he slashes her to death for one final time. Since the Deadites can move even after decapitation, the only way to stop them is to dismember the possessed person, that no part of their body can attack you. The second step to get rid of the Deadite without killing the person is to go out into the sunlight. This is a compelling method shown in Evil Dead 2 after Ash is possessed. Soon after he goes out into the sun, the spirit leaves his body. Although it is not the most effective way to get rid of a Deadite, sunlight seemed to weaken the Deadite in him, allowing Ash to overpower the spirit and control his body. Now remember, this may not work if your willpower is not as strong as Ash. And, if nothing else works, There's always the Kandarian dagger that you can use to stab the possessed. Whether this stabbing traps the spirit in the dagger or kills it permanently is up for debate and discussed in different mediums. What concerns us is that it rids the person or the body of the deadite. In the final season of Ash vs. Evil Dead, Ash attaches the Kandarian dagger to a tank shell before firing it at Kandor the Destroyer. The shell and the dagger go straight through its mouth to its chest. Another option you have at hand is to burn the source of all problems, Necronomicon Ex Mortis. In The Evil Dead, Ash throws the book into the fireplace, and as the book burns and melts, the deadites are immobilized and they slowly die away. Last, and another effective method, is to read the passage from the book that calls back the deadites. The book is the source of all their power. When Professor Nobi read certain passages aloud, it brought the deadites to Earth, possessed his wife, and claimed his soul before reading the book. Of course, if he would have kept reading the book, he would have sent the deadites back to the mirror dimension. In the movie, Necronomicon Ex Mortis works as a remote for the deadites. They are controlled by it. If they can be brought to Earth by using it, they can be sent back by reading the book. This is what Annie, Professor Nobi's daughter, does in The Evil Dead 2. When she starts reading the passages to send back the deadites, the possessed and dismembered hand of Ash stabs her in the back. But she completes reading the passage anyway, before taking her last breath, opening up a vortex to suck away the deadites. Unfortunately, our hero gets sucked into the vortex too. With these methods, you should be able to fight a deadite if they ever come to attack you. However, our word of caution will be that if you find the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, burn it immediately, without even opening it. Close the dimension forever. Timeline of The Evil Dead.
Hello?
After the grand success of the first Evil Dead movie, Sam Raimi could not
Hello?
get the rights to make the second Evil Dead movie. He had to start a
I might be too loud. I had it on set on loud.
Somehow making it
Oh my,
if we start to explain what exactly
oh my
happened
God.
to the rights to the first Evil Dead
What's
movie,
happening?
it would take another 15 minutes. We will tackle that
Oh,
some other
man.
time. Then there was another Evil Dead by Fede Alvarez in 2013. That was a remake of the original Evil Dead.
Oh,
with
God.
different characters. This was followed by a 2015 TV series, Ash vs. Evil Dead, wherein Campbell
Hey, I clicked the wrong button. I didn't understand what was going on. Okay, thank you. I'm not really playing serious, so it's like I'm a little tired. I can stay up later tomorrow night.
Because the best way to follow a timeline is to understand how the creator told the story. Let's begin.
But while I wait in the lobby, I'm trying to like broadcast the story of the Evil Dead. So maybe I shouldn't be in maybe I shouldn't be in the party because that loud noise is going to be bothering, very bothering.
1981. 5 universities.
Yeah, see, I'm very loud.
Ash, our hero Linda.
No, I'm gonna head back to the Evil Dead group so I don't
Scott, Ash's
blast you with sound.
and Shelley, Scott's girlfriend, traveled to an isolated cabin. The doorknob. What should have been a sign for them to leave the cabin? But
Alright, thank you, thank you.
they also inadvertently break the
Alright, thank you, I understand.
world on their way.
Something is
Thank you,
out
fellow.
there.
I
Something
understand, I
that forced
appreciate
its
it.
way into our world.
First, Cheryl's hand gets possessed while
Name's Ash.
drawing a clock.
Housework.
Hearing whispers, she draws a sketch of a book resembling the Necronomicon Ex Mortis. Later, a trap
Evil.
door is swung
Yeah,
open
yeah,
while
really
everyone is
bad
having
day.
dinner. Scott and Ash come back after
My father
investigating
started
the
this.
cellar with a
I'm
book
going to
and
end
a
it.
tape recorder. The tape recorder
like
is
someone
playing
just
the
walked over my
Deadites, who
grave.
were a bit hesitant till now, get free reign over the cabin. Soon enough, they are attacked by demonic entities and demonically possessed trees. By the end of within
He got the real Savinski right there.
Professor Raymond Noby. I am now certain that my recitation of
What's
the
his name?
Necronomicon's
H.O.B. He got
has
the real
resurrected a
Savint.
Kandarian demon. We cannot rectify
I ain't the
my
real
error.
Savint.
Execution of the following instructions.
HBO
will yet
is, or
dispel this
HOB, or whatever they call him, SOB. Say something, HOB.
First step is to gather the pieces
Say
of the map
something,
that will find
HOB,
nearby.
do it.
The map will
Say
reveal
something.
the location of the lost pages of the Necronomicon
Fuck
and
you then.
Kandarian dagger.
Fuck that piece of shit.
Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, 1987. It begins by telling a recap of the previous movie, wherein only Ash and Linda travel to the cabin for spring break. This time, the character of Linda is played by Denise Bexler. After this quick recap, we get to know that after the events of the previous movie, Ash is now possessed by an evil entity, but he is saved as the sun comes up. He tries to drive away from the location, because, of course, who would want to explore another night at an already occupied cabin, only to find the bridge broken, which he'd have known if he had been paying attention in the first movie. Anyway, he reaches back to the cabin by nightfall. He is then attacked by the headless body of his girlfriend with a chainsaw. He chainsaws Linda, but not before her head bites his hand. Ash's hand now becomes possessed. After smashing bone china plates on his head, he dismembers his hand. On the other side, Annie Noby discovers a few more Necronomicon Ex Mortis pages and decides to visit the cabin herself with her research partner and two locals. It was her father, after all, who tape recorded the book, and she wants to find out what happened afterward. Somewhere in the movie, Ash starts using a chainsaw attached to his stump after he lost his right hand. Again, by the end of the movie, no one but Ash survives. And that too, with a twist. Because just before dying, Annie completes reading aloud the passage that would stop the Deadites. It opens a vortex. It sucks the Deadites into it, but also Ash, his Oldsmobile Delta, and a shotgun. Ash finds himself in 1300 AD on the other side of the vortex. Evil Dead 2 ideally should have been the sequel of Evil Dead, but it wasn't due to the rights issues. New Line Cinema, distributor of Evil Dead, did not trust Sam Raimi with a sequel, so Raimi sought the funding himself again. Stephen King, who had given glaring reviews of the first movie, helped Raimi seek this funding. This time around, Raimi and Campbell embraced the comedic aspects of the story, making it a bigger hit than the first movie. At the end of it all, Raimi made a surprisingly good movie after King helped him get the funding. This got the story back into his hands, and now he could make a sequel. Now, a man out of time, Ash is captured by the men of King Arthur, his chainsaw and his boomstick taken, and accused of conspiring with Duke Henry to usurp King Arthur. He is later thrown in a pit as his punishment, where he fights a Deadite. That gets him the attention of Sheila, sister of one of the fallen knights of King Arthur, but the man still wants to return to his own time. Ash understands that he needs to find the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, since only that book can send him to his time. He reaches the book's location, where he has to fight his own clone, which he had to kill and bury. There he forgets the last part of the phrase that would allow him to get the book. And, like any person in his position would do, he tries to cough his way.
Hold on. Hold on, let me do something. I don't care if it goes blue screen. It's just a test. I don't care about the randoms either. Fuck those people. Alright, good. Now I can hear you. I might be a little too loud because I was live streaming, so I turned my voice up. Because they were tight. I hopped in the car. The other players, because you had a original Savini. You know, like the original Savini. He was on fucking computer, and him and his buddy, they're tight. I hopped in a car. They started punching the car with their knives and shit. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit, because when I hopped on and I said, oh wow, you got the original Savini, please use your microphone, say something, wow, they ain't say shit. So fuck them, I'm in the car. Fuck it, I'm about to get the page. Let the demon go after them while I go get the page. Yeah, no,
Do you know the things that I've seen?
like ironically or whatever, it's like the match just started a minute ago, so there's not really much I could do, you know what I mean? I could back out. This is really only the first time I really got to use them.
Your group now holds an additional piece of the map. Well played.
Hello, friends. Can anybody spare a match? That's right, suckers. I created light.
The Smithy? That's where I'm heading. The
You might want to
Smithy.
see this. That I do not like light. Improvised surgery.
That's precisely what he does. It's a reboot of the original movie with something.
I'm reloading. It doesn't get any groovier. Good old. Listen to me. We need to focus on our primary objective. Does anyone know what that is? Now we're talking.
Ash versus Evil Dead, 2015 to 2018. The story of Ash versus Evil Dead is. They notice the swing moving by itself, which stops as soon as Scott grabs the doorknob.
Ash vs. Evil Dead story. Oh damn, it's like my voice to text types in the wrong words. It's at Ashford. I don't even know what Ashford is. There must be some foreign language. Ashford. That must be what they thought I'm talking about.
Final piece has been collected.
Like as I'm
making
trying
the
to
map
fight the
whole
demons,
again,
I'm trying to look
revealing
at
the
something on my
whereabouts of
phone,
the
and I ain't got no
Kandarian
help
and
from the
lost
team at all.
pages of the Necronomicon.
I'm still beating it. I'm still winning.
Oh yeah. That's the good stuff.
Hold on. I can't find no good Ash vs. Evil Dead spoilers. Recap. Evil Dead explored.
The lost pages of the Necronomicon have been activated. Steel yourself for battle.
Alright, just bear with me here. If you have to mute me, that's fine. Remember, you might have to mute me. Maybe.
Typical Dead 2. It continues the adventures of Ash Williams, who's thrown back in time to defeat the forces of the dead like a champion. Doubling down on the franchise's dark humor and absurdity, creatures, inventive special effects, stellar execution from Raimi, and another impeccable performance by Bruce Campbell, the movie is as wacky as it gets.
I'm back! I'm back!
Hey guys, what's happening? Nihat here with Film Comics Explained, and as requested, today we're requisitioning our chainsaws and boomsticks to explore
The team
Army
has
of
awakened
Darkness.
the lost pages, striking terror into the black heart.
We wanted to do Army of Darkness as the second Evil Dead. We wanted to have it be called, Medieval Dead. Because at the end of Evil Dead 2,
Destroy the world. Someone get me back in my body! You're gonna need my help. Bring me back right now. Your fear only makes me stronger.
The consequences of an unsealed breach are unmistakable.
Ash
Do not
vs.
blame
Evil Dead,
yourself.
kill count.
I am responsible for the fall of man.
I said.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Army of Darkness, released in 1992 as the third film in the Evil Dead trilogy. This movie picks up after the ending of the previous film, with Ash stuck in 1300 AD, although it does retcon the details of Evil Dead 2's ending, cutting out the hero chant led by Sam Raimi in his cameo.
Hail he who has come from the skies to deliver us from the chaos of the dead!
Produced by Universal, Army of Darkness faced a lot more studio involvement than either much more.
So as we're like in a lobby or whatever, I wanted to have the phone on and have it doing like a narration so I don't have to speak. And when I go back and look at the video, I have something to listen to while I'm in the lobby.
10 minutes shorter than Sam Raimi's direction. At the time I'm shooting this episode, I can't promise an immediate cut comparison for this movie, but you'll get what I'm at. Don't worry. Raimi and his usual crew, including producer Rob Tapert and, of course, Bruce Campbell, took Army of Darkness as an opportunity to get Ash out of the cabin entirely. In doing so, they also pretty much left the horror genre behind completely, since Army of Darkness, originally titled Medieval Dead until Universal nixed that idea too, is more of an adventure fantasy action flick. Oh, and a comedy. New co-writer Ivan Raimi, Sam's older brother, helped make Army of Darkness even more comedic than Evil Dead 2 was, and in my opinion, went just a tad too far with it, as a couple of scenes end up a little too goofy for my taste. Still, if Ashy Slashy's around, then you know there's gonna be some kills to count. Let's get to them. The movie begins with Ashley Williams in chains. He explains his unenviable position in a voiceover that, like I said in the intro, retcons the hero worship ending of Evil Dead 2. Ash explains how once upon a time he had a nice cozy job at a big box store. Shop smart, shop S-smart, but then he and his girlfriend Linda, played by a third actress, Bridget Fonda, wearing a third Michigan State shirt, went to a third cabin in the woods and found the third incarnation of the Necronomicon Ex Mortis. Same as the other two times, the book's passages awaken an evil first-person spirit, and it crashes through a cabin window to abduct Linda 3. Then, again as twice before, the spear hits Ash in the face. Since the chainsaw hand was way too cool to retcon away, this movie recreates that scene to keep it canon, but it does so in a much less bloody way. Raimi actually shot this movie to get a PG-13 rating, and you can tell it's barely got any blood at all. Of course, since the ratings board already hated him and this series by now, they still gave it an R, the bastards. The thankfully brief recap ends with the wormhole opening up and sucking down Ash and his car. Back to now, which is, then, where there's an extra shot of Ash and his car falling out of the porthole before we're back to where we started when they hit the ground in clouds of dust. But this time through, there's no harpy dead-eyed